when I was a child growing up, I wanted to be a farmer's wife and have 12 kids. That was my dream. And it didn't happen, and that's okay. We haven't gotten to Joan yet, right? She was, she was a friend that I'd known for a while. All right, so that when it happened that I had to move in with her temporarily because of a problem I was having, and I did not realize that she liked me. In that way, a friend is a friend. But as it turned out, it was more than a friendship, and that's how it started. We stayed together for till 2012. That was in 1975 we got together. I started this photo album with Joan and I. Joan much younger. Anyway, it says "You I Keep." The reason it says "You I Keep" is because Joan gave me this ring when we first got together, and on it is "You I Keep." And so the whole theme is "You I Keep." When I lived with Joan in LA, it's like our families, we had no family in Los Angeles. We had no family in California. What we did have is a family of friends, gay friends. And all our friends, they were our family. Everything we did was around with them, through them, whatever. Whether we went to plays, if we went to parties, everything was in the gay scene. With being gay, no matter where you live, you need a support system. And sometimes your biggest support system comes from other gays who become your friends. That isn't to say that, like where I taught at school, all my friends, we never discussed the fact that I was gay with the teachers, but they knew it, I'm sure. And it wasn't a big deal. Friends are, I had a nice friendship with a lot of teachers there too, but not outside of school, just in school. Whereas my friends, most of them weren't even teachers. They were all from all walks of life. And they became family because they would be there for you. They would support you in whatever you needed, as would we. Joan and I, neither one of us had problems being gay in the school system, whether it be from the principals, from the parents, from the teachers. Never, never. We were very, very lucky. Well, we both enjoyed our jobs. And Joan's principal thought she was good, my principal thought I was good. And parents did want us to be the teacher of their children. And so that was important to them. These are pictures when we were teaching. This is our first Christmas together. All right, just some more pictures of when we were younger and living in LA. Shawnee loves that dog.
What kind of dog was that?
I don't know. I don't know, but it was a dog who came barking at our door. No, barking at the neighbor's door. The neighbor came over and said, "Is this your dog?" And I said, "No." But anyway, they wanted to get out of the driveway. So they asked me to take the dog. I took the dog in, and of course, she stayed forever. Okay, Joan and I had talked about what we would do when we would retire, or we knew we did not want to live in Los Angeles, wanted to get out of the city. We wanted to move. All right, so in 1994, we knew we had to sell the house, but there was a big crack in the foundation. And Joan was always worried that the house wouldn't sell because of that crack. And lo and behold, in January, we had the big earthquake, my second earthquake in California. And would you believe, of course, the house goes up, foundation comes together. So it's all fine, the house sells, but not till November. But that's when we moved, once the house sold, that's when we moved to New Hampshire. So anyway, it all worked out really well in terms of coming here. We knew what the house was like. We knew the lake was right here. We knew it'd be a nice place to retire. So you guys make me nervous. Uh-oh. Is that right? No. In 96, a friend, and I put that in quotes, brought Joan a goose. In fact, this picture right here shows Joan and with Joey, as it turns out. So would we take that goose? Well, of course. Why wouldn't we? So then we got another goose. And as it turned out, oh, it was Sam Sam. Sam Sam is a white Chinese goose. Male, female, unfortunately, because they loved each other. We ended up with 4 babies. And so now we'd have a family of 6 geese. He was just so special. He would come up the stairs. We have another picture of him. All 6 of them looking in the window, looking to see where we are. As it turned out, I became a goose farmer. I was a farmer's wife, as it turned out. I couldn't believe it. Because it changes your whole life. You can't do anything in terms of being away from the farm. You have to be here in the morning and you have to be here in the evening. There's no question about it. You have to clean out the goose house. And it's like I could have gone in business because I became a very professional pooper scooper. But the whole life changed because of the family of geese. In a good way, though. The geese would be out. They could get out on the water. So then we would have to go out in the boat to get them to come home. But we had to break up the ice to get to the water.
That's a lot of work.
Oh, you can't imagine how much work those geese were. When Joan and I decided to get married, we didn't see the need to get married in the beginning. And we'd been raised to believe all these years that we couldn't be married. So it took us a while to realize we wanted to be married and we could be married. And then we get to our wedding, May 19th, 2011. Joan was very sick. She had a hard time just being able to stand for that long of a period. It was very hard for her. But she did it. And so we were celebrating and having a toast with that wine. My sister and husband had been here the year before and brought us a bottle of wine that Nita had given her husband. Picked out the wine, had the label and everything. And 50 years they were married. So this was 50-year celebration. And I had said the year before that, well, we're going to drink that on a really special time, special occasion, never realizing it'd be at our wedding. Joan's and my wedding, we drank that wine. And so Joan's brother, 2 brothers are here. Wendy, the wife, Joan's mother. Sue and Jay, friends, really good friends. Jennifer, my niece, who sang the song. My sister. And then Joan and I. I'd always wanted to be married. Joan had cancer, and we got married on May 19th. My sister was here. She came from Arizona. My niece was here. She came from California. In fact, she sang the song. I didn't realize how important it was to get married until I started to put that ring on Joan's finger. Never in my wildest dreams, except as a kid, that I would actually be married. It was just something so special for me. And it meant so much that we could get married, that it was possible. We didn't make our anniversary. Can you believe going to your wedding dinner with your sister and your niece and your wife at home in bed with cancer because she couldn't make it, but she wanted me to go? It just seemed so strange to go to that habit without her. But we did, and she was happy. We brought her food. It wasn't the same, but we did. It was a nice wedding. And so glad we got married. It made it when she died on March 2nd, 2012. It made it very easy for me, with problems from no one, to plan everything and to do what needed to be done. So it brought me joy. Marriage brought me joy. It brought me security. It didn't bring me love because I already had that. It was beautiful. And I thank God it happened. And through the years, I want to tell you about my ring. I keep. Joni gave this to me years ago. So what we did for the wedding, she had also given me a gold bracelet. So I had the gold bracelet melted down, and they took a copy of the ring and, using the gold from bracelet, made a copy of this ring with I keep. So Joan and I had the same rings then, after all those years. So it's through the years. So that was nice.
That's beautiful.
Yeah.
That's a wonderful story.
Yeah.